And we're just a few minutes away from the Stepladder final here in Jackson, Michigan. The PBA50, Dave Small, JAX60 Open. Here we are. Craig Elliott, I've got Tom Carter to my left, and proprietor Dave Small to my right here on the call tonight. Looking for another fantastic Stepladder. A lot of different scenarios here on who can win their first, second, third title. Hall of Famers in the mix. We got Bryan LeClaire and Chris Barnes in the opening match. Bryan Goble waiting for the winner of that. Mike Haggett looking for his first title, and Jurek looking for his first title here in a while. Tom, Dave, we got about an hour and a half to go, and we get to crown a champion here. Let's give a little update here on opening match. We got Barnes and LeClaire, a rematch from the round of 8. How do you guys see this one working out here?
Well, in the previous match, Chris Barnes pretty much had Bryan dead to rights, but Bryan's got a pretty good look on this, and this is the first show that Bryan's made since basically before COVID. So
it's been a while.
It's been a while, and Barnes, this is his third show in a row. So there could be a little bit of nerves between LeClaire, but Barnes, he's got the hot hand. I kind of like Barnes right now.
Barnes looking for his first title. And Dave Small, one thing we always do in the booth before the Stepladder starts is we do a pick a winner. So it's your tournament, it's your center. You get to pick your choice of those 5 players.
Oh, hands down, Jurek.
All right, Tom.
Oh, well, you're going for the tournament leader, really?
How long have I known him?
Well, probably a long time.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to go with I'm actually going to go with the lefty. I'm going to go with Michael Haggett.
Well, then I got to go with Barnes.
You got to go with Barnes.
The hot hand.
The hot hand. He has been, too.
And he's going to start this match right here against Bryan LeClaire on this left lane. A lot of urethane in play here today. We're on the Del Ballard pattern. Tom, how's this pattern kind of play compared to what we've seen recently?
This is it's kind of tricky because you think 36 feet, there is bounce off the gutter, but we have seen multiple guys through this week throw the ball right through the pattern, right in the gutter. So there's no bounce off the gutter, but there's plenty of friction down lane. So speed plays an issue. The guys start out normally with urethane, playing outside, and as the pattern carries down, they move left and bounce it.
And LeClaire struggled a bit in his match against Barnes, but that was a while ago. So Dave, LeClaire's got a good look here. We saw him knock out one of your favorites in Pete Weber earlier.
Yeah,
Bryan had a fantastic look in that match.
He did. Bryan had a great look.
Yeah, did you see what Pete did, though, the last game?
Yeah, pulled plastic out, shot 10 in a row, and shot 270. What
the
hell?
So he went right up the dry boards, right up the outside. And both these guys are playing the ditch. You got LeClaire using a UC3 with 500 on it.
God, the center looks good on that shot.
And then you got Barnes using a pitch black.
I think it's going to be a good match. I think, obviously, Chris Barnes has the hot hand right now. LeClaire, it's been a while. I know he's hurting. The knee's hurting, the wrist is hurting, the shoulder's hurting a little bit. We talked about that last week in Anderson. So I'm excited to see Mr. LeClaire on the show, and I hope he does quite well.
Well, I think the left lane is going to be the lane to try to combat, because if you get it too far right, I was watching Jurek warm up, and he threw one like right down 3, and it got 3. It never did hook off the outside. So it all depends on how the guys play the left lane.
Well, interesting enough that we've seen 3 off the right and 3 off the left this week on the same pattern. I mean, a couple boards left for that shot for Jurek, and it just snap hooks.
Because there is no hold this week. There is no stopping the ball as it crosses the lane. So sometimes the straighter is greater when it's moving that much. And that's one of the reasons why Jurek is your tournament leader this week.
And the only guy that had a better year this year on the PBA50 Tour than Chris Barnes was Parker Bone III. But look at Barnes' accolades. 2 wins this year already. 1998 PBA Rookie of the Year, 2008 Player of the Year, PBA USBC Hall of Famer, 19 national titles. And, obviously one of the best years this season, with the exception of Parker Bone. And kind of the same thing last year. Barnes was, right up there, but Tom Hess was just a little bit better. So Barnes have 2 solid years on this PBA 50 Tour since turning 50, looking for his 3rd win.
Well, given all the factors, Chris Barnes, with his speed and rev rate, actually on a senior tour, is just unfair because he can do things with the ball that other people just can't do. I mean, he can go up the back of it. He can play outside. He can go around it. He can go over the left gutter. I mean, he's got pretty much all the tricks that you need to compete.
And we actually have a fourth member of our broadcast team here tonight for the Stepladder. We got Mike Flanagan out there roaming around with the wireless. Mike, how are you seeing things break down here tonight?
Well, I watched practice, guys, and I wanted to comment on what we just saw from that shot there. You know, this pattern gets put down multiple times throughout the week, and we're seeing a little bit less hook from the outside part of the lane in practice. I talked to a couple players. They both said the same thing. I think that the drastic extreme being able to bounce it off the gutter isn't quite going to be there tonight, as we saw earlier in the week, but just slightly.
Well, the big key, I think, is the surface they have on the ball. You got guys out there using 240 on a ball.
What is this, 1987?
Oh, my. I didn't know if it was which ball you used or which pad you used. You have to get the right surface.
Well, Dave, if your construction crew is missing some sandpaper, you know where it was used here this week.
A little bit. But no, you had to tame the ball down. Obviously, with our surface is only 3 years old, and our edges are bat-winged slightly, so they're a little higher, so you get a little bit more bounce. So a lot of patterns tend to play about a foot shorter here than, and that's...
And speaking of the gutter, I just said
about a foot
there's an
shorter.
out of bounds on the left lane. And if you swing it, obviously you're going to see it, and he just did.
And that was on a spare, so he lost some pins there on that one. And as all afternoon, these are not 3-game matches. This is a Stepladder final. 1 game. Winner advances, loser goes home.
We've seen a lot of balls in the channel this week. In fact, we saw 73 balls in the channel this week, to be exact. That's number 74 now, and that's going to go Brooklyn.
And Brooklyn for the spare. Well, maybe they're trying to get to 75. This is your 75th tournament.
I guess.
I don't think there's a special prize for that.
No, not this week.
No, not this
Hey,
week.
But I'm still.
You got Jolly Ranchers down there. There is a price.
All right.
Damn gummy bears are gone. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
some-
I ate
somebody-
all.
somebody
I
ate
ate all
them all.
those.
Some kind of blue shirt ate them all.
That would be this fat guy. But I am down 30 pounds. Thank you.
Congrats. Good look over Barnes' left shoulder here. We can really see where he's targeting. Well, it's pretty straight. Right up to, well, it looks like about 3 or 4.
And a good shot. Got the solid 10. Tom, where are you seeing the break point at about 3 down the lane?
At least 2-3. I mean, the ball will come off. And if they use urethane long enough, their break point can actually move down the lane, and they create a little bit of hold. Because Chris practiced literally a couple shots in between 3rd and 4th arrow, bouncing it off around 4 or 5. I think he's expecting if enough guys throw urethane, he can move left and create something that the other guys aren't going to be able to do.
Dave, I do want to, and everybody out there, point out that those masking units look beautiful.
Thank you.
Those are great. I mean, I know they're custom, obviously. We talked about earlier in the broadcast the different motifs there, different parts of Jackson. Of course, the airport across the road. You've got the airplane there as we watch Barnes up here in the 5th frame.
And that's what you're going to start to see, unfortunately, today. As we push a little bit of oil farther down the lane, you are going to see the carry get a little bit softer. So you're either going to have to put a little bit more surface on it to have it set up and move forward, or like Tom was talking earlier, you need to move in slightly, kind of open up the angle, and maybe get the ball to pop just a little harder on the back. How was that, Tom?
I thought that was pretty good.
Hey,
You
thank
forgot
you.
one thing.
Oh, what's that?
They could slow it down and give it more time to react.
That is true. They could slow it down, but that's the last thing any of us want to do because that just screws with our timing.
Maybe.
Well, you only throw it 14 miles an hour. You're okay.
That's true.
Yep, you're good.
And that's on a good day with it. And actually,
With
I was
the tailwind, you were going to say.
Well, I was faster this week because Dave installed a ramp here to the approach, so I get a start.
A little more wheelchair accessible for our senior bowlers.
Thank you.
Nice comeback, Bryan. Good shot. That's all right, babe. You got this. And again, you see Bryan playing very similar line that you're seeing Chris playing, laying that ball very, very close to the channel, laying it down around 6-7, playing just slightly inside the first arrow, sending it out to 3-4. Perfect shot, Tom.
I just don't think that the left lane, and this could be a factor. He's already thrown one in the gutter. He went Brooklyn and got the carry. Now it's a matter of if he can stay up the back of the ball and keep the ball on line and not be scared of that gutter.
And there it's out there. Too far.
So on the left lane, 1-2
Is out of bounds.
is OB.
And interestingly enough, the characteristics of 53 and 54 in this house, 53 usually tends to hook just a couple of boards more than 54 because...
Great shot.
Nice shot.
Great shot there, Bryan LeClaire.
Yep. And what we find, and this is basically this side of the house, is where all of our, let's just call it, bigger leagues end up.
Okay.
We start at 60 and work our way backwards. So these lanes get most of the aggressive play in the house. 53 and 54 is actually a good scoring pair. Next door, not so much.
Well, and they probably are a good scoring pair with your house shot, but with this pattern where they're forcing guys to play where there probably isn't a lot of traffic, that makes a little bit of difference, especially if the panels, looks like maybe that panel on 53 might be pulled down a little bit. You said there was wings?
They're slightly winged. It has wings.
29-pin lead for Chris Barnes through 5 here in the opening match of this Stepladder final.
Hey, Craig, earlier we were calling the match between Walter Ray and Chris Barnes. It was an epic match, one of the best ones we've ever called. And we saw Barnes get a little firm with his hand. What I mean by that is locked and loaded. And it looks like on that shot there, he was locked and loaded. Hit it for a little bit more at the bottom of the swing. And the ball got back to the pocket.
Yeah, we saw him create a little bit of miss left in that match and took advantage of it.
Well, Chris is so good at coming up the back of the ball, which gets the ball to rolling and brings his break point a little closer. He never gives it away, so the ball just reads that break point at the back part of the lane so smooth. It never looks like it jumps. It just rolls to the pocket. I think Bryan could strike all day on the right lane. He's just got to figure out the left one, but he's running out of time.
Bryan, watching the last couple matches for Leclaire, his good shots look really, really good, but his other shots, they're almost like they're not even close. What causes that, Tom?
Well, it's not, I don't think, anything that he's doing. I just think it's the part of the lane that he's playing. His ball tends to go right off of his hand a few boards, and it hits that OB. So he's either got to adjust a little bit left so when it does go right, he never gets it to 1-2. I mean, he needs to stay around that 3-4 area. And he did move left.
And that's the cause of what happens when you move left. There's just not...
Yeah, but that was a big move left. Where did he cross? He crossed like, what, 7-8 right there? Oh, 10.
10.
So he went from playing basically 2-3, 3-4, a 6-board move. I think that was just a little bit too extreme. He's only got a possible 209 if he strikes out, and Chris is pretty much on cruise control.
Yeah, he's already in the 2 teens. So Brian's going to need some help. And Chris is not a guy that's usually going to give it to you.
That, from my point of view here, and maybe Mike's seen it, it looked like it was a little bit slower, not quite as firm going down the lane, and that ball just reacted pretty strong right off the break point.
Well, he certainly doesn't want to plaque 10, so he's trying to make the ball hook, and he's made back-to-back great shots with the adjustment that he made. But, yeah, it looked like that one just picked up either a little soft with it or maybe even a little grabbier into the lane with it.
Any 7-10 pickups this week?
Not that we saw. No. But we have seen the big 4 left a lot this week. Just that little miss in or a little slow with the speed, and the ball just jumps right through the face and leaves that big 4. Pay that ultimate penalty.
Well, 36-foot pattern. You got 24 feet of pretty much dry lane. You get soft, the ball's going to change direction. You have two options. It's either going to change direction or roll out.
But still, max score for Bryan LeClaire 209. Barnes stays clean. Spare, strike, spare. He's 210 and strike there. That big four isn't something he wanted, but I don't think it's going to cost him this match.
I'd venture to bet if Chris were to end on that left lane, he might move in and try to hook it a little bit to see what he has. Get away from that OB. Unfortunately, this match is kind of looking like the previous match with Bryan LeClaire and Chris Barnes. Bryan just never could get the tires rolling.
Has never put any pressure on him.
Well, he hadn't made a show for a couple years, and I've always called him Sir Strike a lot because normally when he gets on a roll, he can strike forever. But he just hasn't, in this match and the previous match, just hasn't found it, which I know is extremely aggravating.
Yeah, 5 titles on the senior tour, PBA50 tour for Bryan LeClaire in his career. Doesn't look like it's in the cards today, but he's got to be happy just to be out here competing with the last year he's had health-wise.
Well, you look at that knee brace that he wears just to bowl. I mean, it almost looks like RoboCop. I mean, that is one massive leg knee brace just so he can compete.
That was a hell of a ball change there. To the gym outside.
Well, if he shoots 198,
well, he probably figured if
force
there's an out
Barnes
of bounds,
to mark, right?
Going to use something. He went to a bigger ball to try to counteract that out of bounds. Maybe it'll peel off of that wet spot down lane. Unfortunately, you only got 10 frames. You don't have a lot of time, and you got to make quick decisions. And that ball did peel off. He's probably kicking himself in the butt now. He should have used that ball on the left.
He shoots 198. He forces Barnes to mark. And Barnes did big four the last time on this lane.
Well, that's all you can do is just give yourself a chance to win. Put some pressure on the other guy. And then what's that statement we always say? It's terrible. All you have to do is mark.
Always amazes me how quiet a bowling center can get in these moments here. The crowd's doing a great job letting the players do their thing.
198.
No background noise. Yeah, so Barnes, 9 outs, a tie. Any mark is a win, and he will take on Bryan Goebel.
9 on 2 balls is also a tie.
Correct.
Oh, that ball jumped up quick.
Not going to hit anything. Dave, the 3-6-10 here, there's a lot of different ways to shoot this. What's your preferred way here on this pattern? Do you go hard and straight at it? Do you hook at it? What are you thinking?
I don't throw it like Tom Carter at it, that's for sure.
Ooh, what's that mean?
Shots fired.
Wow.
No. On this, I would just go hard and straight. Just cut the angle out and try not to give the pin away.
Crisscrossing 5th arrow at it. Got it?
Yeah, that's not the spare you want to shoot to have to lock up a match.
I wouldn't want to have to shoot that because it's so easy to chop.
Well,
now wait a minute. Yeah.
It's 210. Possible 210.
Yep.
He needed the spare.
Watch for Barnes to move left here a little bit.
I would think that he
Soften
would,
up.
yeah, and see if he's developing anything to the inside.
Yeah, he is about 4 boards further left from what I can see here.
Well, that one didn't come back. I'm really surprised he just didn't jump way left to see what he's got. But now we got Chris Barnes against Bryan Goble, Hall of Famer against Hall of Famer.
You have to go down there and do some work, Tom?
No.
Brian got it covered. Jeff's still here.
Jeff's still here. He's
All
got
right,
it.
well, you're going to stay here. So we got a little break, though. Brian LeClair finishes 5th. Another good week for Brian. Great to see him out here competing. He'll get in the winner's circle again here soon. But we got Bryan Goble comes in, gets a few practice shots. Again, Dave Small, we started talking a little bit about the mask units. Brian, we got that down lane shot. Do you have that one for a second? We can see the end of the building here. And talk a little bit about the remodel, Dave, and what's coming on more for JAX60. I love the burnt wood down at the end.
The burnt
there.
wood is awesome. Actually,
Beautiful.
I thought they were doing burnt wood today. They were working on the bathroom next to the bar, and all that wood was burning. I'm like, we making burnt wood more?
Not today. No, probably just a lot of screw holes and stuff today. Just trying to, in between trying to get things finished. It's a big building, that's for sure.
But Dave, we know in all your centers you do a lot of remodels. Who picked the motif here? What came into the decision making, and what the tables, the homemade tables there, the burnt wood at the end, everything's looking great. Who does the designs for you, and what else is happening here?
You do it all?
I do it all.
All right.
So you don't have like an interior designer, decorator, somebody you consult with?
No, they kind of like burgundy and tan and all this other crap. All the centers look the same, and I like to give it a personal touch. And this being such a wonderful community and such a wonderful town, we wanted to make sure that we brought all the elements in. I mean, we've got fire, water, air, earth, everything kind of brought in on this remodel. Was to bring in everything and just really kind of knock it out of the park.
When's a scheduled date to be done?
2067 with my luck.
Hey guys, I've got our 5th place finisher here, Bryan LeClair, with me. Brian, talk a little bit about this championship pair. Looks like you made a ball change at the end of the game, maybe a little too late.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I probably used the wrong ball in left lane. The left lanes have been tricky for me for a lot of the tournament. On the pairs that I had, the left lane's good. I had some really good games, but the match against Chris earlier today the left lane was awful, and then that one played very similar. I took a gamble in there in the 10th frame, and it worked out then, and makes it look like maybe I picked the wrong ball. But the left lane's going to be probably if you can figure out the left lane. Also, I think I didn't use urethane at all this week. I used a UC3 a lot, and it got me through a lot of games. But UC3 it doesn't react like true urethane. And obviously urethane is the big play, and it's my fault for not having a pure urethane in my bag.
Brian, obviously we've had a great year out here. This was the last stop of the year on the 50 side of things. It's been a pleasure to cover you out here on the tour, but it was just about a year ago you had a little bit of a health scare, so it probably just feels good to be out here even competing.
Yeah. It was a scary time a year ago. Happy to be able to bowl. Yeah.
We're happy to have you out here, buddy. I know it's been a good year for you. Great to see you out here. Good luck in the future, bud. All right, that's it from Bryan LeClair down here. Very emotional, guys.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, he's just happy to bowl. We've talked at length about what he's gone through over the last year, and it's just he was very, very lucky to still be, on this earth, let alone bowling.
Yeah, he had that blood clot,
ago.
and if he didn't get to the hospital when he did, he might not have been with us.
Yeah, that's scary. Scary for sure as Bryan Goble finishes his last few shots. But great interview, Mike. Good stuff there from Bryan LeClair. And he'll be back.
Oh, we'll start again in like the second week of April, and we'll do it all over again.
So a few more shots for Goble here as he gets ready to take on Chris Barnes in the second match here. Mike Haggett waits for the winner of this one, and then Jack Jurek, our tournament leader. Dave Small, this is your 75th PBA event in the Dave Small Centers.
You said it was 10 this year.
Wow.
Is that right? Did you say it was 10 this year?
9. 9?
Well, tomorrow's 10.
2. 2 nationals, 3 PBA 50s, and 4 regionals. 9.
9?
9 this year.
That's just incredible.
So tomorrow's 10, PBA60.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit earlier about that, but that's just a fascinating number to me. You get 5 centers scattered throughout here in Indiana currently, in 75 PBA events. Over how many years?
12 now.
Okay, so you're talking 6 or 7 years, easy.
75 tournaments in just 12 years. That's just
Scary.
yeah. That's an insane number.
That's how stupid I am.
Oh, everybody appreciates it for sure. We joke that it's the end of the year, we're on the Dave Small tour, but it's what it is, right?
What it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it.
I'm quite sure Dave has a big footprint in the bowling community in several states.
A little bit. Now, kind of quiet tonight, guys. I apologize. Just
all right.
kind of hanging out and enjoying the action.
It's all right. We appreciate you being here and everything you do
Must
for
be
our
that
sport.
glass of wine he had earlier.
I wish it was a glass of wine. I was hoping to get a couple of shots, but I couldn't
We
get
have
my damn
wine?
bartender to do that. Oh, you want wine? I'll go. I know a guy who wants wine. I'll go get wine. Trust me.
So Barnes going to start this match.
We'll call it the
Bryan-
matrix of fairness.
Bryan Goble out of Shawnee, Kansas. Former TOC champion, PBA Hall of Famer, 2017 PBA 50 Players Championship. I was there at Woodland Bowl when he won that one. And I'll tell you what, Bryan Goble does not bowl a lot on his senior tour. When he does, he's a factor every single time he shoes up out here. I'm sure you guys don't mind him taking some time off, as well as Jurek, both of those guys.
Exactly. But Bryan's game is so unique. You watch him bowl. His release and his axis rotation is quite unique, to say the least. I mean, his first title came in 1990. I think he won that title like 180 over 170, his very first. But if you look at his ball roll, it almost looks like it's high tilt. It almost looks like it's spinning and just never reads. Why do you spin the ball? Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, you've never seen me bowl. I look like a chicken that drifts all over the place. You would say that on camera, I guarantee you. But I have a very similar roll to that very high tilt. Very high tilt, and it's great for longer patterns, not shorter.
Yeah, and the 2 errant shots for Goble to start this match.
I think Bryan started out every match slow today, and he kicked it in gear by frame 4 and basically struck out.
You can do that in 3 game matches, but in these 1 gamers against somebody like Chris Barnes, I don't suggest that strategy. Too many times it's not going to be successful. Let's see what Goble does here on this left lane. What ball is he throwing, Tom? Looks like a little reddish black, maybe.
I think he's throwing
There we go, little mixer.
an older ball. I think he's throwing a stinger. Ebonite stinger.
Yeah, I caught on that logo. That's what I was wondering. I couldn't quite pick that up. And we've seen a lot of the
But it's a
some
weaker
old,
cover
some
stock.
old gems come out here this week. Tom Hess, I believe, had an old Insight that he drilled up. There's a stinger. We've seen some other ones come out.
I pulled out a Black Knight.
Oh, I haven't heard that word for a while.
Yeah. I thought about throwing that too.
Duke used to have a ball that he had resurfaced so much it was just a kind of bluish green ball, and he had to engrave a number on it just so it had a serial number. But that was kind of a go-to ball when the lanes got dirty.
Oh, exactly. And this spare has probably been the most missed spare this week. With the ball moving considerably across the center of the lane, a lot of players have slid by or chopped the 2-4-8 off the 5. So it'll be interesting to see. It looks like Chris is going to shoot it from the right and cross those boards.
Oh, that almost looked like it was going to do what you just say, chop it. It looked like he was going to leave a 5-pin right there. That ball was taken off.
That was taken off quick. If that had been another 6 inches, we probably would have seen the 2-4-8 go bye-bye and leave a 5-pin.
The 2 toughest spares on a short pattern, I really believe, is the 2-8 and the 3-9, because it was so easy to miss the 2-8, just take the 2 right off the 8. And the 3-9, you either threw it too hard and it never hooked, or it hooked too much.
Exactly, and you have to control your spares. You have to control them on this. Chris seems to have the late 53 figured out.
Yeah.
The opposite of what we just saw. So 54 must be jumping a little bit more down lane than 53 right now, because you see his ball kind of hung a little bit out there, but he was able to get the 10-pin out.
Very, very late 10-pin on that one.
That hit flatter than my, well, anyway, I'm not going to say it.
I was just waiting for it.
Would you like me to go there?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
It's all good.
Next match.
Come on, go, Goble. Big double here for Mr.
That looks
Goble.
better off his hand.
Still the 2-pin.
Just doesn't quite make that turn, though. Tom, a little fast, maybe? That was
a
almost
little,
16
a little
and a half.
fast. It could be fast, but again, with that high tilt like that, he needs friction. And he was saying earlier that he liked it better when there was carry down, because he could pull it into the carry down. He could really get in the friction. But depending on what they've done with all the pre-practice and guys coming over with dull stuff and just throwing the ball everywhere, his ideal shot, unfortunately, might not be there. He actually might like the left lane better because there's more oil. He could probably, I don't want to say yank it to the pocket, but he could start it up a little sooner. Very deliberate approach, just really methodical with his footwork.
And a ball change.
Ball change, a little more.
I think that was a Stinger hybrid.
And one of the interesting things with Bryan Goebel, and I remember watching him when I was growing up, Bryan, when he first came out on the tour, he used to loft it clear to the arrows. We saw that in Austin, and we saw that when he won his first title in Tucson, as he lofted the ball considerably out, where now it's you almost don't even hear his ball hit the lane. It's a very dramatic change in style.
So remember, Chris left a bucket his last shot here. We saw him try to circle a little bit more on his fill ball the game before. Let's see what he does here.
Oh, Messenger missing the 10.
Throw your purse at it next time. It'll hit it. Sometimes you need a little bit more.
I'm just really surprised. I think he just went with more speed there to hold the line. I'm surprised he hasn't moved in.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see him maybe jump to reactive at some point. Do you think? He's flirted with a little bit this week, but he's been in this urethane a lot.
Well, the whole field. In the round of 16, we went through and counted. There was 38 urethane balls on the rack in the round of 16. I mean, this has basically been a urethane tournament.
I think we were at 70% in the advancers round this morning. But Jurek, Gary to watch later, he's, his urethane is good for 3.5 or so games, throughout the qualifying rounds and advancers round. A lot of play here in the Stepladder. He might go to reactive, depending on what he sees his first couple practice shots. Mike, what are you seeing from Barnes down there these last couple shots? You got to look at him?
I have been watching. It seems like the pair is extremely tricky, but I'm actually down here with Mike Haggett, who I don't think is going to have to deal with any of this. Mike, you've had a few practice shots over on this pair of lanes. How do you see them? It looks like the righties are having a little bit of struggles lane to lane.
I've got them pretty much the same. Maybe one board different. I think a little more hook on the right lane.
And you'll be using urethane, I would assume?
No doubt.
Pink or purple?
Pink or purple?
Purple.
All right, there you go, guys. That's Mike Haggett down here, pretty confident.
Thanks.
Mike's got 2 purples, and they're both drilled the same way.
Just keep fresh cover all the time then, right?
Yeah. Chris Barnes with 79 and a 4th, 9 spare up in the 5th. Bryan Goebel with 48 in the 3rd, strike in the 4th.
Well, a double here, and Bryan's right back in the match.
Yep.
I mean,
He can throw the strike here in the 5th. He's back in the game.
Absolutely. We got us a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen. A couple Hall of Famers going to battle it out.
Ball change on the right lane. Come on, hook. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, I like what I saw of that ball. He threw that a lot earlier, too. He actually had room to the right down lane with that ball. A couple shots we saw in his matches were like, oh, that's not going to get there, and it just peels like that one. So that ball's got a little more oomph on the back end.
Yeah, and if he feels confident that he can throw that down, it's going to peel off in all of his matches once he got lined up. It was nothing to throw the last 6 or 7.
And what I like about that is what we're seeing is when you snap the 10-pin out like that,
Yep.
there's no reserve on that, so it's got a little bit of energy still stored in that piece of equipment.
Right, and Barnes left a 10-pin, had a late messenger, so yeah, Goble's ball is definitely cornered a little bit harder with some more energy restored.
Come on.
And then there's that.
The trick lane, the left lane, 7-10.
And Dave Small does the famous Bo Burton kiss of death.
Well, that didn't look like it really came in behind the head pin too bad either. Just
Oh, I said he snapped the 10-pin out on the right lane.
Yeah.
And, well,
Yeah,
And
well, he didn't snap anything out on this one, unfortunately.
no, that looked like a Tom Carter shot.
Wow. Hey, I got a check.
that's 2.
Did you get a check this week?
Score
I
for you,
got a
Tom.
check, yes.
You got a check this week?
Yeah, I did.
Was it the Super Senior or the regular?
Of course, it was a super senior. Check's a check. Hey, I got a check on the Pro-Am, too.
Just for the record, Dave's up 2-0.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boy, he's digging a knife in deep today, isn't he?
Nah.
You're lucky I'm sitting between you to save you a little bit.
I'd cuddle with
All
you,
right.
Tom.
All right, Barnes gets in.
Oh,
and-
pocket,
wow.
410. How often do you see that? This is a trade-off, back and forth, back and forth.
Here, you take it. No, I don't want it. How about you, Tom? Do you want it? How about you? I'll take it. No? Okay.
Holy cow.
I'm just going to eat M&Ms on this one.
Okay.
Drama melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Take a run at it. Can he kick it over? No.
Oh,
Bounces it.
he bounced it. He just didn't bounce up.
When he said that wasn't even close.
He told the whole crowd no chance that was going to bounce out, insinuating that he doesn't ever get any breaks.
Yeah, do you really believe that?
You want me to call the wambulance?
Oh, wow.
In 19 national titles, PBA USBC Hall of Fame, Eagles. Probably never got a break in his career. But 2-pin lead. Come up in the 7th frame for Chris Barnes over Bryan Goble.
Didn't he win a national putt-putt championship, too?
Yes.
Oh, he put it up the ramp there perfectly. I thought he got around that one a little bit more. Spin to win.
Yeah, I think he's going to start creeping. He's going to be creeping left.
Oh, boo-hoo.
You don't think so?
I don't get any breaks. Come on now. You don't win that many titles without getting a break or two here or there.
Yeah.
That was bitter. Well, that was kind of good.
Yeah, you're cutting right to the bone tonight.
A little bitter like that chocolate. Huh?
I'll have me need more. Time for wine.
Time for white. Give him a Snickers bar.
Where'd they go? Goble looking to come back. And
Just
Hang on,
baby,
hang
roll,
on,
baby,
hang
roll,
on.
baby, roll, baby.
Oh, we've seen a lot of those today.
Jesus,
It's not on
too
that.
many senior messengers this week that slow 10-pin. I even slowed my racks down to try to help the guys.
Oh, that hurt.
What? I'm in your category.
I give him a half point for that one. Yeah.
Just slow the damn machines down, try to get you guys some more.
Well, then when the PBA60 tournament starts tomorrow, you're going to stop them for us?
Shit, I've got pin boys for you guys tomorrow, so you'll be all right.
Thank you.
No problem. No, the only reason I pick on the messengers anymore is I get so happy when I get one. It just never happens anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't see that many anymore at all. But again, you shouldn't expect it, I guess.
I
At 13 miles an hour, there's not many messengers, Tom.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Wow.
Made
that's
it
3
too
now.
easy.
3.5.
Somebody in the chat, please stand up for me. Help me out here.
Tom, we love you. Come on, Brian.
It's got to go.
Good shot.
10
That's
back.
shot earlier.
Probably his
See,
best shot of the match right
that's what
there.
we saw earlier, where the ball looks like it has no chance of getting there, then just goes left. And that looked good.
Possible 214 if he could take it off the sheet for Bryan Goble.
Yeah, far from over, but Chris, I think, has got a little better look now, except for that 410. He's going to make a move off that one. You know, remember there was a bucket on this lane, then there's a 10-pin and a 410. I see this one going dead flush.
Well, and it's funny because you put both bowlers together, we'd have a really strong one bowler because one can hit the left, one can hit the right now. There seems to be that slight not quite there.
Chris moved in. And almost moved in too much, almost 710.
Now you see, my messenger, the head pin would have hit and then bounced once and then maybe started to decide to roll over. And that's
Then
when
stop.
Well, I tell him to turn the machine off at that point. Wait, here it comes.
Wait.
Wait, here it comes. Give it.
Yeah, well, you know, with these young guys, well, I call them young guys because he's 15, 16 years younger than I am. And Barnes has got so much speed and so many revs. And he's throwing pins all over the place. Tommy Hess, you know, Tom Adcock.
He's just a beast.
These guys are just throwing shrapnel.
All right,
Tommy
no
Hess
daughter
is
at that
just
7-pin. 126 in the 7th for Barnes. 124 in the 7th. But Barnes on a spare, Goble on a strike.
2-pin match right now. Barnes can take it off the sheet for 206. And our friend over here, Bryan Goebel, can take it off the sheet for 214. So pin count right now, very crucial.
That's an important strike here for Barnes.
Yes, anything less than a strike right now is really going to give Mr. Goble the opportunity.
3 strikes out of 4 shots on this left lane for Chris so far in this match. Wouldn't me?
It was me.
He's had a couple shots.
Well, he does.
Week.
He does keep that that grip extremely, extremely tight. So when he gets into his move, he's got kind of that little stop mechanism where it doesn't feel right. Just shut her down.
He had a little tape curl up. I can see it from right here. A little tape curled in his thumb hole. He'll probably put in a new piece after this shot.
Eagle eye. Very important shot right here. Must have the foundation strike. Pretty
That was
shot.
pretty pure right there.
Doubt. Probably the best shot of the match.
That was pretty pure.
Now the interesting thing is Mr. Goble.
Well, the match is in Brian's hands. All he's got to do is take control. You think?
Is that it?
That's it.
That's all you got to do? What's he got to do, Tom? 3
How
strikes?
about strike?
Needs 3 in a row. And a lot of pins beyond that.
We need the first one.
Yeah, we need the first one right now. I like the look that Bryan has on 54.
Just the 1 strike on this lane so
Oh.
far. That's got to go.
Oh,
Got to go.
great shot.
That was
Well,
a great
he
shot,
liked
but it
it.
looked like it was going a little bit long. I didn't think that ball was actually going to make the turn. I mean, it was really lengthy down the lane before it decided to go
Yeah,
left.
that ball's got great recovery. We've seen him use it a lot this week, and a lot of the times it just looks like it's got no chance, and there it goes.
Now the best he can do is 194. He's just got to hope that Chris doesn't strike on this first shot.
All right, Bryan. All right, Bryan, fill it out. Three of them get you to 194. 194 will force Chris Barnes to get the first one, and then 9 spare. I used my abacus. It's right in front of me. I didn't screw up for once. Because I love doing that to Randy Peterson. That was always fun.
Goble taking a little bit extra time here.
Big shot.
Oh, that was not a good follow through at all. Not good at all.
That was
No, that was
just bad.
that was at the foul line.
That
He
was
just,
crap.
Just held it a little bit long.
Pick this up and strike 183. All Chris has to do is mark
9
at this point.
Right.
Well, that's not a gimme.
No, it's not.
Unfortunately, right now in that right lane, that's not a gimme.
Kind of came down to the same scenario with Bryan Leclaire. He had to do something in the 10th just to secure the win. This is a real easy pin to miss, especially if you hit that OB on lane 2.
We've seen some high-scoring matches, some low-scoring matches, and this is just kind of medium here, but it's still a close one. Bryan Goebel at least makes Barnes get up and do something in the 10th to win the game.
He's got a mark right now.
And Mike Haggett's got to be just licking his chops, seeing what's happened to the right side of this lane here. And these guys, it's 190's look, and he's got it all to himself. And he bowled well this week.
Oh, he's bowled incredible. He bowled right next to my left. And all I kept seeing was 279s, 260s. 240s. He bowled incredible.
And a good finish for Bryan Goebel with a 183. I know he's extremely disappointed on that first shot on the 10th, but Bryan turned 60, so he gets another shot starting tomorrow. This will be an interesting shot. We've not seen Chris strike on the right lane this game. Am I correct? I am correct. So, really, let's see it.
Hall of Famers always seem to figure out a way.
Exactly. That is
Just like that.
That's the best kind of mark
That's
right
it.
there.
Doesn't get any
Best
better
kind
than
of
that.
mark.
Yeah, you don't throw it. Obviously, it looks like Chris likes to have the pressure put on him, so his focus just like hones in. So Chris Barnes going on, beating Bryan Goble to meet Michael Haggett, our only lefty on the show.
Yeah, and Haggett really just had a nice match. I mean, he bowled great against another bowler who's been bowling with us here, James Campbell, in the round of 8. Haggett just took it to him early and pretty well wrapped it up. Almost a no contest there. But he's had a break now, and we'll have to see his practice shots. But he said he's going purple all the way, and you said he's got 2 fresh ones, so fresh covers on him. Barnes going to throw reactive on the fill? Yes.
I would.
What ball is that? Is that reality check?
No,
polish?
that is
What
a afterburner pearl,
Oh, okay.
a high RG ball. So he's going to go in and circle it, I would think. Just maybe get away from what's out there.
That's not a super aggressive ball either.
No, but he
No, it just comes harder off the spot.
Exactly. Way harder off the spot. So 206 for Chris Barnes over Bryan Goble's 183. Chris moving on to meet Michael Haggett. Michael come over, and I think he gets 8 shots with those 2 purples.
I see Jurek bringing the Zen over. I haven't seen that on him. His reactive has been a reality check. So he's got a Zen and a reality there as well. He brought 0 urethane over here.
Hey, folks at home might want to really pay attention to Jack's practice shots.
Yeah.
He likes the right lane, but the left lane he's completely lost. He's going to try a couple different things on the left lane. Might want to watch this. I'm going to try to grab Bryan Goble here real quick. Here with 4th place finisher Bryan Goble, back-to-back weeks. I get to talk to you, Bryan. That's got to feel pretty good overall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd like better results, but I can't be disappointed. I'm an old man. I'm just happy to make. I didn't start today thinking I'd be on the show. I struggled on the fresh almost every time we bowled, and I don't even know how I got through my matches. I was shooting 150 and 180 the first game of every set I bowled, so I don't even know how I got here. So, and 180 on the show. So anyway, I'm happy. Chris is great. Chris, great bowler.
Well, I'll tell you how you got here, Bryan. You're one of the best bowlers to ever lace them up on the planet.
You're a nice guy, Mike. What do you want? A little money? No, thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm just an old man. I mean, I threw the ball pretty good, but it's. I mean, I threw the ball pretty good. I just, you get away with some things and you don't. The 7-10 hurt a little bit. The ring and 10 I left in the 9th was the best shot I threw on that lane the whole day, and that one hurt a little bit. And I made a bad shot in the 10th. I would have liked to have doubled on my good lane and forced a little pressure on him, but I didn't. So, way to go.
Well, Bryan, it's been great covering you out here. Going to bowl the 60s?
Yeah, you bet. I'm letting those 60-year-old beat up on me. So I'm the young guy. I got to bowl it. So, yeah.
You got a birthday in October to be 61. Congratulations, Bryan, on a couple of good outings. Good luck in the next couple.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
It's Bryan Goble, Craig.
Yeah, good stuff there. And I always enjoy someone's response. Yeah, I'm just the old guy.
I don't know how I got here.
Every time he shoes up, he's in the mix. So I call BS on that, Bryan.
Yeah, I don't know how I got here, guys. I mean, I threw it terrible. I bowled 180 to start the day, and I end up on the show. I don't know how.
Does he know we have the stats that says he makes 100% of the tournaments? He cashes 100% of the time, makes match play. Yeah, we're on to you, Goble.
He overheard me mocking him. I'm here with Chris Barnes. Chris, how much do you like this championship pair?
Yeah, they're really fun right now. You know what I don't like? The breaking news. Mike took like 2 shots and decided he had enough practice. I'm pretty sure that's not a good sign for me. On the plus side, I didn't get to have a chance to get stiff. So
we going interactive?
Mike took 2 shots, and that's it?
You know what? I like it. I'm good. Let's go. I'm ready
Wow.
to bowl. Yep, got the same look. Shoe up. I like it. You know, he could take up to 8 shots if he wanted to.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
one
took-
each lane. All right, good to go.
It's purple time.
Oh, and how much of that though, Thomas? He doesn't want to throw 4 shots in each lane and create just a little bit of carry down, right?
Well, I'm
It's
sure he
fresh,
doesn't
let me
want.
go. Let's
if he
let's
thinks
do
he's
it.
got a good shot, let's just go with
Right.
it.
Why mess it? Why mess it up for yourself? He's seeing how quick this pair is changing for the right-handers. Don't want to screw it up for myself, right?
Yep. Michael Haggett, his nickname Moose.
I wonder why.
He's a big boy.
So I'm not sure if there's a benefit of putting Barnes on either lane after that last game. I mean, he finished decent on the right lane, and Haggett's going to let him start, and he will finish on that right lane. So I don't know. I'm not sure it makes a difference right now. I mean, you know, sometimes we'll see one lane look better than the other, but right now I don't think it matters. And Michael's just going to strike. Mike, I mean,
If Mike thinks he's got him the same, this could be old news, but this tournament's over.
yeah, it's going to take high 240s plus, I think, to win this game. And Barnes knows it. Barnes knows it. You got Dave Smallback, Dave. I think you missed that comment, though, but Haggett took 1 shot at each lane and said, let's go. I'm ready. Let's do this. And Barnes wasn't too happy about that. He said, I'm in trouble.
Good.
But
Let's
that's
see.
my guy.
I know it's your guy. I'm not rooting against anybody, but, you know,
All right. 3rd Stepladder, is that correct, for Haggett in his career?
I believe so.
Looking for his first title.
Outside line. And a 10-pin.
Craig, I had a chance to talk to Haggett. His best finish has been 5th in the past, so this will be his best finish ever on the PBA50 tour.
It's awesome.
Well, Michael Haggett beat James Campbell to get here, and he shot 245, 228, and 215 in that round to get here. And then Chris Barnes beat Bryan LeClair, but then again beat him on the show. But to get here, Barnes shot 236, 191, 223. So their scores are pretty even in that previous round to get to this point. So we could have a slugfest.
I like slugfests. I had one with Tom Carter one night.
Might be another one tonight.
Nah.
He didn't bring back any wine for us, so, you know.
I noticed
All I
that,
had
too.
to do was ask.
I noticed that, too.
Would you like wine? I can go get you wine. I know a person. Would you like me to snap my fingers? I can make it happen. Garçon, garçon. Maybe he should have taken a couple of more practice shots.
Well, I think more than anything else, it could be he needs to settle down. It could be the nerves.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was just a little bit in. Just got to let it go of the ball, let it go. Do what you've been doing all week, actually, for the last, couple of months. But he bowled great on this pattern in Odessa as well. It's not just this week here. He almost made that show in Odessa.
Mike's been bowling fantastic this whole season. It's just a matter of whether he makes the show, and a couple of breaks here and there, he'd have made a few more shows. He hasn't been out here all that long either.
It's his second year. Yeah. Second season out here on the 50 tour.
He has definitely made a name for himself. Chris Barnes moving in, bouncing it just a little bit, still sticking with that pitch black. He's crossing like 7-8, taking her out to 2, just letting it roll up. One thing about this pattern, you don't have to overwork the bowling ball. There's so much friction out there that it's going to turn. It's just a matter of if you let it.
This is 9 cashes and 13 events for Michael Haggett this year.
That's a nice record.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
It's very solid.
Definitely helps pay him to get to one tournament to the other.
And the flat 10.
Haggett is another one of those players, kind of like Michael Hogan, that doesn't slide. Brad Angelo, that doesn't slide. I'm not so sure that he has rubber on the bottom of his foot, but he just plants.
All right. Easy spare. No problem there. 49 in the third. 49 in the second, spare up in the third. Chris Barnes early on in this semifinal match. And we've got Jack Jurek waiting for the winner. And a chance
I think
to bowl
Jack's a
for
little
this
nervous
title.
because he was a little confused on that left lane. So he's worried that he doesn't have a look at all. That might be a good thing. It might make him
It was definitely
focus.
he brought down 3 different racked balls that he had not thrown, I don't think, in the last 2 days. Try to find something.
Haggett
All right.
with very delayed timing. I mean, he's at the line, planted,
Good shot.
stopped, and then pulling the ball through.
See, Tommy laid that ball about 3 boards farther to the left on that shot than he did the first shot. He had the ball a little farther inside on the right lane, and you hit light, and you got it out a little farther early, which got the ball to start up quicker. Don't think I'm not paying attention.
Well, you
I'm
got the
learning.
monitor right in front of you. You should.
I'm blind and old.
Do you think, though, Dave, that because he's, I think we even noticed maybe he's a little amped up, just move left and square things up and make sure the ball gets to the pocket?
Heck, that's what I would do. I mean, I'd be so excited to be out there. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So I have fun calling it.
Yeah, that one just never read.
Well, he said he had a 1 board difference, so just a guess, but is the left lane a little bit tighter for him than the right lane? It sure is on the for the righties.
Yeah, that shot was actually slower than the one before, but it just never even thought of getting to that 1-2 pocket.
I know it's only the 4th frame, but he needs to figure something out because I'm pretty sure Chris is fairly well lined in now. He's feeling more comfortable on both lanes.
Good cover.
All right, making his spares, staying in the game, keeping it close. It's early.
10-pin match.
And the
Oh.
210. That one looked like he might have missed it just a little bit at the bottom.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
that
didn't look like he caught that one.
No, it looked like it kind of lost it just a little bit at the bottom of the swing. If we could get a quick replay of that one. Because he's been very, very pure and very strong with his hand at the bottom. That looked like he kind of quit just a little bit on it.
Softened up on it.
I don't think I ever replay that, but Mike, did you get a look from behind on that shot from Barnes? See anything different?
The one comment I have about just this step ladder in general tonight for the right-handers as we watch them try to pick it up, just gets count, is the fact that this pair is playing really tough. And I don't know if we can pick up with our eyes some of the changes that are happening to the lanes. I think the players are repeating shots pretty well. I just think that right now you got to be really perfect.
Just really speed sensitive right now, Tom? Is that?
I'm going to agree with that. I think it is definitely speed sensitive, and I think if Chris gets too firm, it doesn't read. But if he softens up to let it read, it overreads, and that's. And we're talking about. Just a nanosecond of a release to get that ball to change direction the right way. And the biggest thing is you got to have confidence that what you're going to do is going to work. And if you're trying to change speeds just by maybe a mile an hour, I don't know about you guys, but that's, for some people, that's pretty tough to do and to repeat it.
Well, that shot read at 15.38, which is one of the slowest shots we've seen Chris throw all week long. So I got a chance to get right back in this here.
Oh, my
go.
God.
Pretty
Now,
shot.
Mike,
He's got the right lane pegged now. Let's see if he can hit the left lane.
Mike has a 3-pin lead as of this moment. He's got 79 in the 4th strike up. Chris Barnes, 76 in the 4th strike up.
3-pin match right now. Tom Carter. He's taking a little bit more time. He's definitely settling down a little bit. I think that's what he needs to do. I think this one's going to be pure. Oh, soft 7.
Pretty soft shot. He was talking to Parker before the match here, before Parker headed out there, and you got to believe he's getting some great advice from the Hall of Famer. And we hear all the time about how fast these matches go on TV in the Stepladder final, and you got to slow it down somehow. We definitely saw Michael do that on that shot.
Hey, he's taking more time. I think the place you need to take your time is back here at the scoring monitor, and breathe and relax. Definitely don't take a whole lot of time up on the approach, because the longer you stand there, the more you're going to want to squeeze it and enforce it.
Right.
Guys, I'm down here with our top seed, Jack Jurek. Jack, what are you seeing from this pair? Not really good, is it?
Warm-up pair, not good at all, but the tournament pair, the finals pair, looks very tricky. Seems to be quite a bit of difference between left lane, right lane. I got some hang on the left lane from far out. I got some early hook if I get it in on the left lane. That was definitely a problem lane in my warm-up shot so far.
Would you rather bowl Chris or Mike?
Selfishly, from an experience standpoint, I'd probably rather bowl Mike. Chris, obviously, Hall of Famer. He's been through everything. He would definitely have an edge experience-wise and everything. With Michael, Michael's had a great year, but he hasn't been there that many times, and I remember how long it took me to get that first one. So, from that standpoint, that might be the only reason I would maybe try Mike.
Thanks, Jack.
That makes pretty good sense right there.
Yeah, pretty good advice.
You
right
said
there.
almost another 210 from Barnes.
And Chris has now lost the right lane. 2 light hits, so he's either got to move out, soften it up a little bit.
He just changed balls.
Yeah, for the spare. Yeah. Tom, is it time for him to go to the reactive?
I think so.
Open up the angles more,
I would get a little steeper.
and he can get firmer then?
But I'm surprised that he doesn't have a ball with a little more surface on it and create those steeper angles so that ball slows down on the back end so it doesn't jump quite so hard.
He's sticking with your thing.
He may play 2 different balls, one on the left lane and then one on the right lane. Because it seems that the last few shots on the right lane, we thought maybe he missed that one in the previous frame.
Yeah, but seeing it again back to back, maybe he didn't miss it, and it's just that's what he's got there.
It's tightening up a little bit.
Yeah. He likes it. Didn't need the messenger, but had it coming across anyway. 116 in the 6th. If Haggett strikes, he'll be at 119, so a potential 3-pin lead for Michael Haggett.
Mike needs to step up, and obviously to keep that 3-pin, he's got to strike it. A double would be really beneficial for him right now.
A double would be extremely crucial right now.
Well, he struck the last 3 times on this right lane.
He's got too much push on the left lane. He just ball's coming in light. But the big thing is if he makes an adjustment on that left lane, depending on what he does, it could be right through the face.
That looks good. And it went high.
That is not what he needed at all.
No, that's not at all.
I think he grabbed the living daylights out of that.
It looked good. It laid it down where he thought he would, where the last one struck. The only reason I could tell is, the monitor's right in front of me.
Kind of what I thought too.
Hey, Tom, would you like to switch seats? You can
No,
have
no,
this one.
I can see now.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Is it because I moved my fat head?
Now I'm looking over his shoulder, but I can see it. He's got to give this a run.
Oh, he is?
Oh, and that you couldn't come any closer. That missed by a 1/16 of an inch.
If that, he could have wiggled that pin.
And to all our fans out there and friends out there, I have a wonderful relationship with Tom Carter. He and I pick at each other all the time. And
Yes, he does always pick on me, folks. That's true.
We love Tom. I love you. I still think we have a good time together.
We do. I enjoy coming here. That's in all your centers that we've had stops at.
Big shot here, and the 2-4, and he is lost.
I think that was a frustration shot. I hope that he doesn't think that because he opened, it's all over, because he looks like he might have rushed that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, heck, he's rushing the spare, too.
I know what it's like to be frustrated, but anything can happen. Until you're mathematically out of it, quit it.
Well, remember, Barnes has to throw 2 more shots on the right lane where he 2-10'd and then 2-pinned.
Tom said he knows what it is to be frustrated. I just can't go there. I just can't go there.
Next game.
Hey, if you've ever bowled out here, you know what it is to be frustrated.
Well, I wasn't going in that direction.
Yeah, I know.
I think through a game and a half,
It was going
Tom
good.
wasn't missing me giving him the business, and now I think he wishes it was just me back here.
Well, I can make that
Myself,
happen.
'cause,
I can disappear. I mean,
No. Let him have it.
Big shot for Barnes right
Yeah,
there.
he is going to that burner.
He moved in. Oh,
He almost got a
runaway Brooklyn.
huge break there. Almost had the 9-10 standing there.
Look at
well,
that.
he did
ball
have it.
picked
Just
up.
fell
He did.
down.
Wow.
He missed probably. I know what he was trying to do, Tom.
He was trying to bounce it off like 2, and it never got there.
It got to like 10. It never got out there. That was a bold move. Tom's mad at me. He's not looking at me anymore. I'm sad.
He'll get over it. I mean, Chris has it left lane. He struck the last 2 shots, but he has to go back in his right lane. So if I'm Haggett, you gotta not just give it to him here. Michael can still shoot what 205,
Yep.
and Barnes is
56,
facing
70,
196.
right.
So this is far from over.
And I hope Michael realizes that even though he did have it open, that he needs to just come back and settle down and get the first one in the 9th and the first 2 in the 10th.
The big key here, Barnes has got to finish on that right lane where he is
Right.
just kind of lost right now.
Unfortunately, he is. Key shot, pivotal shot. Oh,
Yeah, sticking with the urethane over there, and that would come off there.
it did. That was a
okay.
little bit wider, but that looked good.
So that gives him 156 in the 8th with a strike up in the 9th. Michael, 125 in the 7th, 8 spare in the 8th. He needs to definitely get up and put 2 to 3 strikes together.
Hey, he can get to 205, and that would force Barnes to throw a strike.
But unfortunately,
No, it actually, if he strikes out, forces him to double.
and unfortunately, we haven't seen anybody put any pressure on Chris at this point.
He needs to make this shot. Looks good.
Great shot.
Look how he
Nice
held
shot.
that one.
Yeah, that
He
was
posted
10
that
back.
shot.
That was a key shot right there. You see his executed. He held it. He stayed down. He pumped it a little bit harder. That was
He kept it on line.
about 16.5 miles an hour. I can actually see the scoreboard from here. It's kind of scary. We need a double here. One at a time, though. That's the key thing right now.
So both guys are finishing on their,
tough lane.
bad lane. Now it's the key on who actually can figure out their lane.
Yeah, Michael has not struck on this lane yet in this game.
What would you do in this situation, Tom?
Just try to make a good shot. One thing you don't want to do is get it to the out of bounds.
And he made a good shot. Left the 7-pin. But we really needed that double because the best he can do now is 185. Chris is going at a 196 pace.
Well,
Again,
spare strike is still going to force Barnes to mark, so this is still an important finish here.
Again, Chris just has to mark on his trouble lane.
Right. They're not
I
that
guess
easy.
my move for Chris Michael on that last shot, he went 7-pin. Maybe just slow it up a little bit, be a little softer with it, give the ball a chance, but then you always have that chance of the ball running through the face.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to be aggressive, but you sure in the heck don't want to leave more 7-pins.
No, I would have in that situation, I would have moved a little bit right and just thrown it harder.
Count is important. He needs at least 9 here to force Barnes to get a mark.
But that's why I'm sitting here and he's out there bowling.
Well, you're 50. You could bowl the senior tour now.
I know. And that is not the count.
He might have moved left on that.
He did.
And
So 180.
Yeah. So now 9 outs, 184.
183. 183. Chris basically needs 9 spare.
Also, his last shot, right? Runaway Brooklyn, he changed balls, and the ball just took off on him.
Now it's-
Shot before was almost a 210. Shot before was a 210. He's sticking with reactive here.
If he can run, the question is, can he get it out to the break point?
So Michael Haggett shot the exact same score as Bryan Goble did, 183, on this pair. So it doesn't make any difference if it's left or right.
Barnes needs 9 and 2 shots to get
He's
to
stuck with that
184.
burner,
And got it to the spot.
and every time that he's been lost and needs the first shot in the 10th, he's done it.
He has.
You know why?
Because he's a Hall of Famer.
That's why.
Thank you.
Another great match.
So Chris Barnes now on to the tournament leader, Jack Jurek. And he had a pretty hot hand in qualifying. He had, 278, 300, 299. And he was lighting them up the whole time.
He finished off his second squad, 577 his last 2. 2 national titles, 2 senior titles for Jack, and, of course, 2-time Steve Nagy Award winner. They don't call him Gentleman Jack for nothing. Going to bowl for his second title this year. He lost to Lenny Borsch in Lubbock at the U.S. Open. He's going to have a chance to take on Chris Barnes for the title here at the PBA50.
And that's the guy who didn't
Dave
want to
Small
bowl.
tournament. Well, I mean, yeah, look, he's going to bowl anybody, right?
Jack said, I'd rather bowl Michael Haggett instead of Chris Barnes, because Barnes has more experience. He's been there a lot of times.
All right.
216.
Did he find something there, maybe? I mean, it's all 3 strikes in the 10th with that ball after the runaway Brooklyn, and we're going to have a
The
few
burner
practice
pearl.
shots. Yeah, a few practice shots for Jack Jurek. Be interesting to watch and see what balls he does pick. I got to believe he's just going to go reactive and get left. And he's very soft hand, but he can circle this pattern a little bit where some other players maybe don't have that. But we're about to find out.
When you get a chance, Mike, ask Kelly if he's got any surface on that burner. Or is it coming out of the
I will
box?
indeed. I'm here with third place finisher Michael Haggett. Mike, best finish on the PBA50 tour. Kind of a good finish to the end of the season, but certainly would have liked to have get past Chris Barnes there.
Yep, just a little bit timid on the first few shots, and just wasn't aggressive with the ball enough. And then when I tried to get aggressive, then overcompensated for it, really. So, but he struck when he needed it. That's Chris Barnes for you.
Yeah, it was a tricky pair on both sides of the lane. You know, some were thinking that you would kind of have a really good look over there, and you only elected to throw a couple of practice balls, but just things didn't work out for you tonight, huh?
Yep, the earlier practice I threw strikes on almost every single ball, and then did the same thing when I went over there, and I didn't want to ruin my shot, but just didn't repeat the shots that I was doing in practice. So it is what it is.
Well, it's been a pleasure covering you this year, and look forward to seeing you out here next year.
Yep, my pleasure. Thank you.
There you go, Michael Haggett.
Yeah, you could hear the frustration there, but he said exactly what we saw here. A little timid and then got a little over-aggressive and
So
didn't want to wreck his shot. So
it's all about nerves.
yeah, it's but you know what? He's been there a couple times now. Next time it'll be a little bit different.
They always say you have to learn how to win. And the more times you're there on the ladder, Munchkin is walking by.
So I think Jack's going to take all 8 shots, Dave. That gives us a little more time between matches here to talk a little bit. We talked about the match units, your sponsors, everything that happens here. But talk a little bit about some of the sponsors that help make your 75 events on the PBA Tour successful and happen every year.
We have a wonderful array of sponsors that we enjoy being partners with. Obviously, here in Jackson, the Chamber of Commerce and Experience Jackson are absolutely amazing. I mean, even you said earlier that the first time you've seen the PBA event on a chamber website.
Yeah.
The relationship we have with them is really second to none. And then the Western Bowling Proprietors Incorporated, WBPI, is our insurance provider. And they are an incredible insurance provider. They have just over 400 centers, and they are big advocates for us, which is nice to have an insurance company that has excuse me, has a vested stake in how we perform. So we actually had a claim last year in Kokomo, $150,000 claim on a roof when the roof separated from the building from an ice storm. We had the money in 24 hours.
Oh, that's
Wow.
that's
They are
pretty impressive.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've been very blessed with them, and you know, they're always looking for good people. I know to help sell insurance. Actually, Bryan Wallachek. Everybody knows Bryan Wallachek. Bryan
We do.
is my rep.
One of the most talented bowlers not out on tour.
Oh, he's
Without question.
he is a lot of fun. He's old Wally's a good guy, and so we're very blessed with having good relationship with our sponsors and good relationship with our communities.
Nope.
Without them,
Nope.
I'd have to write a check. I don't like writing checks.
Well, I know that's not true because I've been to your centers. You write a lot of checks to the bank and to your construction crews to take care of all the work you do.
That is true.
All the time. So
Well.
somebody likes writing. Maybe it's Angie that likes writing a lot of those checks.
No,
or
she
Josh,
doesn't.
or
No.
Josh, but somebody definitely does. And it's always good to see. You know, and I think I've told you before in some of our broadcasts, all the traveling I do at all the different centers, the first thing to me, walk in the front door, is the first impression you got. You walk in and things look clean. Bright, clean, ready to go.
That's exactly
To
it.
me, it's very frustrating to walk into centers that don't have that, and that's something that's common. And I've told people across the country, one of the things that you always done too is in some of your restaurants, if I remember, you always kind of have that signature meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the pork tenderloin in where that's at what center?
That's in Anderson.
In Anderson. So, and you know, I like that as well. So. It's always great to walk in a Dave Small Center. We've done it 75 times on the PBA tour. And how many times next year? How many, you know?
Don't know yet.
75?
What?
That's another.
When you turn 70, Tom, I'll make sure to get a PBA 70 event,
Okay, that'd be great.
and we'll
Wow.
and we'll sponsor it.
Yeah.
Dave, thanks for hosting us for sure. Also here on Bowl
Always.
TV, we like to do giveaways from time to time, and now is that time for a Bowl TV giveaway.
All right.
Be giving away an eBay gift card out there. Good luck to everybody. We're going to start that giveaway right now.
When that little blue box pops up, click away and find out who our winner is here this evening.
Better be me.
Did you enter?
I don't know, did I?
No.
That would be no.
Oh, I got nothing then. Where are the gummy bears?
You
Oh,
ate all
I
those,
ate
so
all
we don't
those,
have
didn't I?
those.
I did. This is going to be a tough match.
I don't know if you've been watching, but Jack still looks like he doesn't have a very good look on either lane with his practice shot. So
I've been watching. I
unless-
have the monitor in front of me.
Yes, you do.
I think he definitely scored a point with that one because that's been referenced a couple times. I call it 2.5 to 1 now, Tom. But you guys are making up to do. You got one more game to get there.
Oh my!
Jack moved in.
No, I think that's what I thought he was going to do. Get in and circle a little bit. He's got that reality check, which he can do that with, and that's the racquetball he's gone to this week when his urethane was no longer on play.
So I didn't see what he picked up there. This is his final shot, so I'm not sure exactly what he's throwing. This is his third show this year. He also made the Masters and the U.S. Open. So for a guy that doesn't come out very often, he sure makes a lot of shows.
No, he's like Bryan Goebel. Nobody asks when are you going to bowl the next event because they know what happens when those guys show up.
There's,
I actually think he's got a little better reaction on the left lane, believe it or not. Key for Jack during this match here, if he's going to play in, is to stay steep through the front part of the lane and not throw the ball too hard and past the break point. Still going to have time to recover off the end of the pattern.
Jack's going to be throwing it, what, a good mile and a half slower than Chris, you think?
Oh, at least, or 2 to 2.5, no doubt about it. I mean, Jack's he's 15 really consistently, right? Is that where his speed is? That one's a lot quicker.
That's inside. Held pocket.
Inside and hold.
So here's a question for the three of you. We saw Barnes punch out in the 10th frame on that right lane. He's got to finish on that right lane every time, and really the first two games it didn't matter. Does it matter now in this match? If you're Jack and maybe that left lane's a little bit better, do you want to finish there, but do you also want to let Barnes finish on what might not be his good lane? Mike, what do you see there?
He's won twice out here on the PBA Tour as well, and he's a two-time Steve Nuggy Award winner, which means he is a very nice man. Jack, Jurek, Chris Barnes for the championship. You guys do that.
They are also roommates, and they are also 900 Global teammates.
So, Mike, are you going to let Chris start so he can finish on that right lane? Is that his better lane now?
I can't say either lane's good right now.
Yeah, he's going to let him start.
What's winning score going to be, like 212?
Maybe.
I never get this right, so I'm going to go 224.
I got it right last week. That's close.
Tom going all the way to 224. I like 219. Okay, I like 225. No. Good shot for Chris Barnes on that left lane to start out this match. Another look at this. He's definitely moved in.
I think that's the play. You got to get in and get away from. They've had enough balls go down the lane. There should be some carry down. Should have created a little bit of hold, and we know we have friction to the right, so they ought to be able to open up their angles and bounce that a little bit. It just depends on how comfortable they are with doing it. So that was 15 out to like 2, and it made it all the way back.
That's the most coverage I think I've seen any of the players do this week, with the exception of Gino Castillo.
14.58 miles an hour for Jack on that shot.
Right over the third arrow. Out to, geez, 2.
2, that's what I said.
2. I needed the monitor, Tom. I'm sorry.
But that ran out a little steam at the end there, though. See, it did deflect when it hit the 1-3 pocket.
Deflected just right for a strike. Jack Jurek with classic kind of old style approach, just unbelievably smooth.
For the double. Beautiful shot. All right, let's have a little match.
We got a match.
Let's have a match here,
But how's
boys.
that? So we talked about speed control. 14.58, 14.54. That's pretty close.
That's the magic number.
That's pretty close.
Let's see what Barnes does. 16 what?
16-0.
No, he was down to, he was at 15.5 on the left lane on his strike. I didn't see what he was when he moved in with that racked ball on the right lane in the 10th frame. Both players looking for their third title on the PBA50 Tour, but for Barnes, it'll be the third this year.
16.75. Come on now. I said 16 what?
Got a little something behind that one.
Yeah, so 2.25 mile an hour faster. Both players with doubles. My 224 might be low.
I'm keeping mine a secret.
Oh, yeah.
You'll tell us at the end.
Yeah, you're going to tell us at the end.
No, I just don't want to screw them both over.
And Barnes is, as you mentioned earlier, Dave, throwing a different ball on each lane.
Doesn't matter what ball you throw. You just got to get them to knock them down. Key to the game.
Oh, a little weak 10, but it goes down.
And he had the helper coming again, but didn't need it.
Barnes, last week's winner. Going for back-to-back titles.
Yeah, a winner in Aberdeen, a winner in Hammond, going for back-to-back. His third on the season, third overall on the PBA50 Tour.
Oh, little love tap there. Takes out the old
little hip
4-7.
at it.
Yeah.
Not
Like
to-
the head pin split the 4-7.
About
Doy.
14-2.
It did.
Doy.
Tie match.
I think this is more strikes than we've seen in this first 3 frames than we've seen in the first 3 games.
No kidding. Maybe the lanes have kind of mellowed out. And, well, that's what happened in qualifying. The scores were a little tough in the beginning, and once the carry down happened, the scores started going
A
up.
lot of the guys said they struggled on the fresh. A lot of them.
You know, we qualified 2 7-game blocks,
That's right. early.
Oh, that was way too right.
Caught the OB we talked about. That was right off his hand and kept going.
It's all right, Jack. Pick it up.
So the first 2 games were kind of questionable. Then you had 5 games to get it together. Very few guys hit the fresh the first 2 games.
Jurek, one of the 2 300s in the event this week, correct?
Yeah,
Joel
Carlson
and Jack Jurek.
And Jack also had a 299 in that squad, and a 277. Gee, that's, you know.
It's pretty good set right there.
Well, Joel Carlson, he shoots at 300. In his 3rd game, he shoots 132.
I remember that.
And he's out of the number. Then he comes back the second day and Rambos him to make match play. He makes the cut, then he makes match play. And he came from a deficit to get back to try to even have a chance at the show.
He earned it. All right. Spare for Jurek. 76 in the 5th. Spare up in the 4th. Barnes yet to miss.
After this event is over, we have the PBA60 again starting tomorrow at practice around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we start 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then our final event down to Columbus, Ohio, Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. And the PBA50 will be done for 2022.
I made sure to have some extra Ben Gay and Geritol on hand for the next event. So
is that going to be in the paddock? You know,
I was going to walk around and sell it to y'all.
That's that semi truck that just pulled up outside. It's full. How about that shot?
That one is pretty pure. He knew that was there.
Remember the old Cigarella girls?
Yes.
That's what I was going to do tomorrow. Just walk around. Ben Gay, Geritol, Advil. You know, just to have a little fun with you guys.
That was a no-doubter. He liked that
Yeah,
all the way. I think he's found something on that right lane, but still sticking with your thing on the left. Why not? 2 strikes on the right, 2 strikes on the left. That was 17 mile an hour, that last shot.
So he's getting
faster.
more amped up. He went from 16.7 to 17.0.
Oh, he asked for it.
Yeah,
He asked for a little help on that one. He got it. But do you see that side angle? Look at how he can really cock that wrist. Not too many guys out here still have that flexibility.
No, not at all. That's why you can unload it so well at the bottom of the swing. You know, it's kind of funny when Chris turned 50, guys were wondering if he was even going to come out on the tour. And the word on the street, he's like, I don't think I'm going to bowl the
It was a
the
definite
senior.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I'll bowl the senior tour. And since he's come out, he's done nothing but ramp home. So I think he likes it out here
best
now.
ready this year, no doubt about it. Hands down.
Oh,
what in the world is that?
The 2-7-10. Not your everyday leave.
He is right-handed, correct?
He is right-handed.
Okay, all right. Making sure. Oh, got to make a run at it.
He doesn't have a choice. Chris starting out with the front 5. And then he misses the 2-pin totally. So 101 in the 5th frame for Jack Jurek against Chris Barnes' front 5. He can still shoot 251 if he shoots it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's far from over. I mean, we've seen that right lane give Barnes fits when he was throwing urethane, and he's out of that now. But it's far from over. A strike here would be very helpful, though.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
If Chris happens to throw the next 2, I think the fat lady will be warming up.
Little extra time for Chris. That one looks a little slower. But you know what?
He got that
Didn't
clear
matter.
out to 2.
Didn't
And
matter.
16-7.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't really initially. It looked
So-
like it off his hand, though, didn't it?
So he went 16-7, 17-0. $16-7.
Yeah, pretty consistent within a quarter mile an hour. All 3 shots in their right lane since that ball change here in this championship match.
There's Kelly. I need to know if he's got any surface on that burner.
Sets on. This is the one here that's really going to make it tough for Jack. He got that one out,
Got it.
comes
Oh.
back, doesn't get help on
about,
the 10. He's
yeah, he
happy.
about crumbled those. And if he
Yeah.
had, it would have been all over.
Hey,
Clean
Tom,
up
I was
lane
told
53.
it was 2,000 on that burner, not much.
Just cracked the shine then.
Well, didn't Chris just say he didn't use any brakes? I think that one qualifies right there. Still in command.
So Jack definitely needs the rest of them shoot. Obviously, 251 is his best.
Yeah, I mean,
Chris
Barnes
could
is
go
in the 240s. He stays clean.
Right, and 270 if he punches. That better bounce.
That's got to go a lot, yeah.
And it didn't. His ball is just not coming off that spot. And I'm not sure exactly what he's throwing on the right lane, but
Reality check.
Is that a reality check?
Yeah.
It's just not bouncing like that burner is for Chris. And some of that could be obviously rev rate too.
I think a lot of that might be rubber, but I think that shot too, it looked like Jack just missed it at the bottom again and just lost it right like he did on the left lane. Just never had a chance.
Jack came into these finals. He was the number 2 qualifier after qualifying. And Chris came in at number 17, which is really low for the last couple of tournaments for Chris. Switch to a Zen on the left lane.
Yeah, that one picked up.
That picked up, but unfortunately this match is just done.
A little quick recap here. Championship match, PBA50, Dave Small open here. JAX60 in Jackson, Michigan. Jack Jurek, Chris Barnes. Barnes with a commanding lead right now as he gets up in the 8th frame. Max score for Jurek, 220. Barnes on a 240's pace.
Yeah, Chris would have to open the 8th, 9th, and 10th, and Jack strike out to even make this close. Chris, ball came in just a little bit behind the head pin. Leaving the 10 pin, 188 in the 7th. He is up quick, and the machine hasn't even reset, shooting for a 10.
I'm just trying to remember, too, as we earlier we made picks. Oh, yeah, I picked Barnes. That's right. Just trying to remember that.
Oh, you just had to throw that little
Yeah,
dagger,
it
dagger right
just
in there?
popped into my head.
Yeah,
we made those. And I picked third, just in case
Yeah,
anybody's keeping track at home.
Yes. Dave picked Jack. I picked Michael. You picked Barnes to run the ladder. Another 10 pin. So after he moved in a little bit, it looks like you wouldn't think it happened that fast, but it looks like could have been a little bit of oil carried down to that break point.
Yeah, maybe a little. But still a nice way to cap off this season for Barnes with back-to-back
wins.
W's.
Yeah, that's another nice little $7,500 check.
Yeah, I don't think there was enough points out there. Parker Bowen had such a lead on Player of the Year, which will be announced in a week or so officially. But there's a big gap in the points there. But Chris Barnes, no doubt the best radio on tour this year, hands down. Fantastic season, picking up his third W, led several tournaments. But Jack again, what's he bowled? 4 events. He's bowled for the title twice, I think.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good ratio as well.
And look at the events that he's made shows. The Masters and the U.S. Open. I mean,
yeah.
Come on.
That's all. Just a couple majors.
Yeah. They come out. They steal all our checks. They go back home.
Yeah, nobody's going to ask. All year, hey, where's Ron Moore? Where's Jack Jurek? The players aren't asking those questions.
No.
You might give those guys wrong directions to the next stop.
Give them the wrong dates. Oh. Tournament just finished.
Yeah, I think everybody told Parker when he left that the tour's canceled for next year. Don't bother, just stay home, Parker.
So Jack Jurek split in the 10th, and it's just not going to be a good day for Jack.
Yeah, it didn't matter. I mean, unfortunately, this match started out like we were going to see some big time fireworks, and then Jack just kind of lost a little bit, and Barnes just kept keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, he lost his momentum somehow. I don't know if.
Let's make this for the crowd. Come on, Jack can do it.
He made the hard one. That's trick shot right there.
Shot. Yep, trick shot. 210 or the
take
4 to the 410 out of the 2-4-8-10.
Yeah, slide that 4 in between the 2 and the 8.
Well, victory lap for Chris Barnes out of Denton, Texas. Linda, he's bringing another one home.
You're going to have to build another room onto the house. There's too many trophies.
Yeah, they just downsized, but you might have to buy a new house. Might have to add a wing at least.
He's going to have to build a man cave just so he can have all of his trophies. Great shot there. Chris Barnes back-to-back winner here at JAX60 in Jackson, Michigan.
And a little bit higher scoring than we expected. I mean, we all thought, 2 teens, maybe 220s.
Yeah, that's 224, and everybody laughed at me.
250, yeah.
He could be 250.
Yeah, what a finish for Barnes. What big ball change, though, right? He went through that in the 10th when he needed a strike.
Right.
Made it work. We saw him actually throw it in the 8th frame on the right lane, and it just took off on it.
Yeah,
Made a move and
duck
flushed
hooked on
it.
him. Yeah.
You know what? Stick with what got you there on that right lane, and it worked out for him.
He's the only one that didn't really have a problem on the left lane with the out of bounds.
Yeah.
All the other players had problems with the out of bounds.
Oh, we got a lot of people going to come out here. We talked about a lot of sponsors. Dave Small talked about them earlier. Experience Jackson, the Jackson Chamber of Commerce, WBPI. And we're going to have Josh Salmon, the general manager, out there helping with checking.
Chris Barnes, our champion here, the PBA50, JAX60 Open. Congratulations to Chris. Congratulations to Jack Jurek as well. Great runner-up finish. No reaction for Jack on the pair. Don't know what happened, but he bowled great all week. So congratulations to both players. Before we give away all the money and the hardware to Mr. Barnes and Jack, I'd like to take the opportunity again to thank our host, Dave Small, for having us again. 75 tournaments he has hosted for the PBA. We sure appreciate it. WBPI, thanks so much for being part of this along with Dave. We sure appreciate your support of professional bowling along with our PBA sponsors and product registered companies. The staff here has been wonderful. Josh, Eric, the guys in the back, the guys in the front. And we're going to give away some money and award a trophy. And don't go away because Mike Flanagan's going to come out and do a quick interview with the champion. But let's bring out Josh Salomon, the general manager here at JAX60, to give away some of his money. It's always good to get in Josh's pocket. Josh, thanks so much for having us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, John. It actually isn't my money, but it's always nice to be able to take some of Dave's and give it out to these fine gentlemen who've been bowling and creating what I love as a sport for many, many years. I can't tell you how much I respect and love watching these guys bowl. It's just a pleasure for me. It always will be. And thank you guys for putting on a good show.
Well, Jack Jurek, come on out here and get your $4,000 check. Not a bad few days' work for Jack. Congratulations to him. And we're going to bring out our sponsor, WBPI, Cameron and Bryan, to present the check to Chris Barnes. Chris, come on out here and get some money. More money. 2 consecutive wins for Chris Barnes. Congratulations, Chris.
Big wheel.
Very happy to have the opportunity to sponsor this tournament. Chris, excellent. For me as a non-bowler, it's really exciting to learn the complexity and the difficulty of the sport. And it was good getting to know you earlier. Super competitor and had a lot of fun watching you. Congratulations. It's our pleasure to sponsor this event. Where's the camera?
Yeah. Well, hello, test. Maybe, yes, no. All right. Yeah, thanks again for sponsoring the tournament, and you got a pretty good teacher here. This is one of the best in the business with Bryan Wallachek. He wins about everything, so I'm glad he's not old enough to be out here. So, thanks for showing up this week. Again, thanks to Dave Small. He does a fantastic job for the PBA. We were here in February with the regular tour. It did not quite turn out this way for me. I didn't get to bowl for very long, I don't think, as a matter of fact. But the crowds were great then. A fantastic host center. Couldn't ask for anything more, and it makes it a lot of fun when you guys are out here. I have a few people I need to thank too. My sponsors, Niner Global, Vice, Kulik, and then, of course, the sponsors of the tournament and all your staff here. You guys did a great job. We didn't want for anything here, and I can't wait to come back. Thanks again.
We're going to need an extra couple of hands for this.
All right.
I'm just gonna- On behalf of myself, Mr. Small, and all of our staff here at JAX60, we want to present you with this trophy for the David Small's JAX60 Open, presented by WBPI. Chris, I grew up watching you on TV. It's a dream come true to give you a trophy. I'm so proud and thankful to have the opportunities that David presents me with to do this. Congratulations, sir. Great bowling.
Thank you very much. Yep.
Okay, let's bring out Mike Flanagan from BowlTV. They've done a great job covering us throughout this whole entire swing. They do a wonderful job, and Mike, take it away, and it should be a great interview with Chris. Congratulations again, Chris Barnes.
I'm gonna get on the other side of you here, Chris. Okay, so I took down some notes here before we get started. So Chris has led a lot of tournaments this year going into the bracket, and things didn't turn out so great for him. So this week here in this format, Chris was plus 35 after 7 qualifying games, and he was outside of the cut number in 44th position, which we haven't seen that much this year from Mr. Barnes. Then after 14 games, he was plus 269 in 15th position, and he qualified in 17th, which was one of his worst qualifying positions this year. This is back-to-back titles for him in a Dave Small bowling center, by the way, so maybe you like bowling in Dave Small bowling centers. But here are his finishes this year, folks. He finished 3rd, 11th, 1st, 9th, 5th, 4th, 9th, 4th, 2nd, 9th, 3rd, 1st, 1st. Let's give it up for that accomplishment. I mean, that's incredible. And he missed an event because he had to bowl with his son on national television. That's a pretty good year. So 3 titles, 1 second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths. With all that, Chris, how did you do it this year and not win Player of the Year?
2 words, Parker Bone. He was great, as you watched, all year long. He's been one of the qualifying leaders. He's been certainly the best in match play as the tournament's gone on, and then when he gets to the stepladder, he's been nearly unstoppable. I was fortunate that he felt bad for me last week and shared one time. I don't expect that to happen much more, but he just bowled fantastic, and so it's the best I've bowled in several years. A lot of it has to do maybe with the same reason as him. Our kids are getting pretty good, and we're practicing a lot more trying to keep up. It's not so easy to beat them anymore, and so I think that has a lot to do with it. It's reinvigorated me for sure that my son is bowling so well, and my other son has picked up the game now and playing a lot more, and it sure makes a lot of fun to go out and practice when you're not just by yourself.
Yeah, so Chris has had an incredible year, and the Player of the Year announcement will be coming out. But currently, right now, the way the points look, we kind of know where that thing's going. But I also want to just say that this year, I think it's safe to say that you are the best right-hander on this tour, and that couldn't be said last year because of Tom Hess.
Right. I'll take it. I'll just take whatever wins I can get, however they come. So, today was that TV pair was probably the toughest pair any of us had seen throughout the week, and so it was certainly an advantage coming up through. I was pretty fortunate to get through there. There's a lot of guys that bowled better than me for the last 3 days, and some days you're the dog, some days you're the hydrant. So today I got to be a dog. So
let's talk about the fields out here every single week. I mean, incredible fields out here on the PBA 50 tour. But tonight you had to bowl several matches, but you had to bowl your roommate and your good friend Jack Jurek, who bowled so well this week. What was it like bowling Jack?
Oh, it's never fun bowling the good guys. And so, Bryan Goebel, I've known him. We're Kansas guys originally, and he was one of the guys I looked up to. Maybe one of the most underappreciated guys in the history of the game. There's not very many guys that won 4 titles on the PBA Tour in 1 year, and he's one of the very, very small group. And so, Bryan Leclaire, known him a long time. Michael Haggett, part of the TP kids out there, the trailer park kids. So, glad to hang out with them. It's hard when you're bowling your friends. It's one of the things that's different about this tour than the other tour. There's basically no friends when you're out here. But, you feel bad for the guy you're bowling. That's probably the biggest difference is when you win, you feel bad for the other guy. And great competitors, great bowlers all the way around, and like I say, very fortunate tonight.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people that support you. You talked about your sponsors, but you spend a lot of time away from home. What would you like to say to Linda, Ryan, and Troy back home?
Who? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, my wife's been a professional bowler. She's in the USBC Hall of Fame, the World Hall of Fame, this Hall of Fame, that Hall of Fame, a whole bunch of them. And so I'm really lucky that I have somebody at home that not only has walked the mile here, but understands how it all works and is super supportive of being out here. And now I got one kid that wants to walk the path here shortly, and I got another one that bowls a lot as well. And they're good with all the travel, and they like joining me once in a while. And without them, none of this could happen, and it certainly wouldn't be as much fun along the way.
Yeah, definitely. So one more last thing. I know you get a lot of support out here. You talked about your ball manufacturers, but you know what? You've got Kelly Kulik out here has been helping you this year, along with some other tour reps. We've seen Steve Jacobs. What's it like having all these reps out here helping you?
Well, it's always great to have support. Like I say, you have pretty good eyes. I've been around for a while. I think I'm pretty smart until I'm not. And this week was one of those weeks where I wasn't for a while and needed to. From the foul line, you kind of see 2D in the reps, and somebody like Kelly with her pedigree, can see 3D. And again, she's walked the mile. She can do a lot of things. She sees the lane extremely well, and so without her help this week, it wouldn't have turned out the same as well. So her, Steve Jacobs, Del Ballard's been great. He's texted me even during the match. It's great to have sets of eyes like that and support like that, and there's not much like it.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Barnes, your champion. He's had a great year this year. Good job.
Back-to-back titles, Chris Barnes, 3 on the year, wrapping it up with 2 to end things here. The final PBA 50 stop of the year here at the PBA 50 Dave Small JAX60 Open. Tom Carter, we're not quite done. We've got a couple 60 events to go. Let me get the right mic turned on for you. My bad there.
That's all right.
We're not quite done. We got a few more shows that you and I are going to do. One more here in a few days. The 60 event starts tomorrow.
That's going to be.
And then you get to go home.
Yeah, it is at Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. Yeah. It's at home, which is absolutely nice. I'll be right here. So in the parking lot, that's where I live.
That's all right.
Yeah, so
the TV guys, you're out there.
Yeah, it's going to be okay. So I'm looking forward to that. What I'm not looking forward to is starting tomorrow. We practice at 10 to noon, taking a 2-hour break, just enough time to stiffen up to bowl 8 games.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
And then for the next 2 days, then we take off. The finals here on Thursday. I'm going to drive like crazy Friday morning to get to Wayne's, and practice there starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We'll race you. How's that? We'll race you.
There you go.
But again, it's been a great year on the PBA50 Tour. We're very pleased as a BowlTV crew to be able to be out here and bring you the coverage of these great players, these Hall of Famers. I mean, we've got Parker with 4 titles. We've got Chris with 3 titles. I mean, that's 7 right there of the 13. It's a pretty good pedigree.
It's pretty redundant of the kind of show that we're having. It's the same guys.
Brad Angelo got one in there, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting them all right now, but it's been a great year. We're glad we could cover it here, for BowlTV. What the future holds, we never know, but the only guarantee is we'll be back here tomorrow afternoon with PBA60 qualifying from the JAX60
just 2 more events for us.
Open.
And then it's all over for the PBA50.
But before we go, again, we do want to thank our BowlTV community, all you fans out there for watching. There's no reason for us to be here if you're not out there watching. Of course, USBC and BPAA and their board of directors for their support to let us be out here as well, doing what we love. Between Bryan, myself, Mike, everybody else here, we just truly enjoy this, and we hope that comes through on the broadcast. And Tom, as you've been added to the crew again a few years back, we appreciate everything you can do here.
Yeah, this has been actually working with you, probably 8 years.
It's been a while.
Maybe almost a decade.
We're on our our 3rd company now, working together here in the booth. But we're still here, and we're gonna
don't plan on going anywhere.
Hey, as long as they keep asking us, we're gonna keep coming back. But again, I appreciate that. Of course, Linda Carter and John Weber, the PBA staff, the guys in the player services truck, all the work they do, Sully and Don out there. It's truly an honor to be part of this. And we'll be back with more. But again, remember, one thing always here on BowlTV.
Bowling lives here.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.